Hello, everyone, and good evening. I hope all is well. I understand that there may be some issues with Facebook. Per Facebook, they're saying that they're having some difficulty. All right, I got my last Facebook stream to go live per what they're saying, and I want to make sure that's true. Okay, maybe not on Facebook, but we're going to check that on out and make sure. Excuse my stuff on Facebook. All right, it says it's all streaming. Okay, wonderful. So once you're live, if you post, you, okay, now it's saying that something else is wrong today on Facebook. So you know what? We're going to just keep striving and sorry about that, yeah. And keep pressing on today, even though this is something with Facebook that is with out of my control. But let me just make sure that the one other place it's supposed to be streaming, it's actually streaming. So everyone will be able to see today's broadcast. I'm Keisha. If this is your first time actually tuning into us talking today, and I hope that you will get some value in what we've been discussing. We've had conversations that you can go back and look in the history and see, and it's been based on things that we think are helpful to you. And one was a Medicare presentation, and it was very good and had some insightful things for you and your family and friends. And we hope that you were able to either tell your friends and family to actually log in, join us on our page, or you were able to share with them for that presentation. And then last week we had a great presentation that we ended up having to post later, but it's still a great presentation on the caregiver. And please, if you haven't watched that, please go back and actually log in and check that out. And so today we're going to be talking about the topic of caregiver fatigue. Okay, we're going to be talking because we have noticed over time, especially with our demographics of more Black and brown people, that we tend to see our caregivers who are actually either dying or having massive medical events because they are not taking care of themselves, because they are focusing on being a caregiver and they're thinking that they have to do things over and above what they over and above what they have to, which is self neglect to take care of whomever they are the caregiver of. So we have Vanessa logging in now, and so we are. I don't know if my Facebook stuff is started. It says it is. So I don't know what the problem is related to this, and with the messages. So as Vanessa is coming on to join us, and she's here. Let me add her to the stage. Hey, girl, how are you today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. It's a blessing to be here among the people. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
So I was just telling them about our previous presentations and telling them about today, how we're going to be talking about caregiver fatigue and how um, people usually neglect themselves because they think they have to.
absolutely. That is absolutely what what we do.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping,
No, we know it's going to happen. All it's going to be well. See, look at it. Look at you. Look at that.
trying to make sure. Okay, are we good?
Yes, we are
Can you
good.
see
I'm
that?
just going to. Yes, and I just changed the actual layout. You see it?
Yes. Oh, I can see it. Yes, yes.
All right.
I was just thank you guys for being patient. DFW traffic is a little crazy right now on I-30. But I am very excited to present this information to you guys. I
Hmm.
hope you guys are eager and ready to hear and learn about caregiver fatigue and burnout. So, what is caregiver fatigue and burnout? It's basically a feeling of deep exhaustion and stress after caring for another person. Compassion fatigue occurs when a caregiver takes on the emotional stress and trauma of a person within their care. So I want you guys to get that other little piece. It's not just taking on the emotional stress, but also the trauma um, of the other person. And we're going to talk. Oh, well, hold on, back. Go back. We're going to talk about four different um, topics regarding caregiver fatigue and burnout. The common causes, what are factors that cause caregiver fatigue, signs and symptoms, recognizing signs and symptoms of caregiver fatigue, risk factors, understanding the things that are causing or may cause caregiver fatigue, and prevention and intervention, how to recognize the symptoms and what to do to avoid or to limit caregiver fatigue. Because we all get fatigued, we all get tired from just everyday life. But we want to make sure that we don't get tired to the point that we're burnt out and we're ready to give up. So, what is a caregiver? What is caregiver fatigue? A caregiver is simply a individual who cares for someone who is unable to fully care for themselves. While caring for the individual, many times caregivers neglect their own physical, mental, emotional, and social needs. This causes the caregiver's anxiety, emotional and physical stress, and many times depression. This is when caregiver fatigue and burnout occurs. So it's not just caring for the person, it's when we neglect ourselves, when we neglect our physical, emotional, mental, and social needs. And there's many reasons that we do that, and we're going to talk about those later. What are some of the common causes? When you're devoting the majority of your time, attention, energy, finances, and resources to the one that you're caring for, and neglecting your own care is the main root cause of caregiver fatigue and burnout. So basically, this is saying the root causes is when we put all our energy, everything, time. attention, money, other resources into the persons we're caring for. Many times we feel it's our obligation, it's our responsibility, and we neglect ourselves. So that's the main root cause of caregiver fatigue and burnout. So, what are some of the other common cause? Role confusion. Many times, the person we're caring for, um, maybe it's our spouse, another family member, maybe it's your sibling, maybe it's your mother, a grandmother, grandfather, your father. So, there's a lot of confusion in our role because now, for me, for instance, my example, no longer was I the daughter, I was now her primary caregiver. So that can a lot of times cause stress. Um, it can cause conflict between the two individuals because we're trying to find where we fit, what's our place, what's our new role. And that's for the caregiver as well as the individual that's being cared for. It was hard for my mother not to be the person who had always cared for me, and now her daughter, her baby girl, was caring for her. So that role, switching from those roles can be very confusing, can be very treacherous at times for both the caregiver and the person being cared for. Um, Expectations, different expectations that are not aligned, um, and also your expectations. Where at in the beginning you thought it was all going to be rainbows and roses, and you find out when you get in the thick of it and the meat of it that it's very challenging, that it's very difficult, and you can't deal with that because the expectations or your family's expectations or you or the person that you're caring for, their expectations are different from yours and they're not aligning. And a lot of times that becomes difficult for us to move through and adjust. Lack of control. Not necessarily lack of control of you or the person that you're caring for, but of the situation, of your loved one's health, their condition, not being able to control the narrative. A lot of time that causes conflict within ourselves because we're going in thinking that, you know what, I'm going to be the best caregiver for them. I'm giving them all the attention, all the love, and that's going to help them. That's going to help them. It's going to benefit them, and it does. But it doesn't mean that it's going to change the outcome of their health. Their mental health, yes. The longevity and the quality of life, yes. But their condition, no, it's not necessarily meaning that their condition is going to change and that they're going to get better. And a lot of times we struggle with that. Caregivers struggle with that. The next one is too many responsibilities. Not knowing or not um, making that plan. I don't know if you remember last week we were talking about making that plan. And a lot of times we don't know what all entails in caring for another person. When we're becoming the caregiver of someone who has a health condition. So taking on a lot of responsibility that we weren't aware of. And then on the other side, not using our support system, not using other family members, not using the resources in the community. And that causes a lot of stress, a lot of discomfort, a lot of anxiety, frustration. And once again, that's where that caregiver fatigue starts to creep up and come on in. The next one I want to talk about is not really realizing that we are fatigued and we're on the edge of burnout. Not realizing that we're on empty and that we need to be refueled. A car can't run without gas. It can be a brand new, whatever car, G Wagon. But if it doesn't have gas, it's not going where. Or if you don't plug it in to that electrical source, it's not powering on, it's not going anywhere. So, not recognizing that you need to refuel, that you need more energy, that you're on empty, that's another cause, another reason that we become fatigued and get caregiver burnout. Some other common cause. If you, for myself, um, I'm a help, I'm a, I work in a helping environment. I'm a counselor. So not only was I coming home caring for my mother, but I also was working in a school, being a counselor to elementary students, and then I switched to middle school students during that time. If you're a law enforcer and work in law enforcement, fire department, if you're a nurse, a doctor, working in the medical field, dental field, working in a hospital, if you work in any type of helping, where you're in a career where you're helping others and then you have to come home, that's a lot. And not being able to balance that. Don't have the support system to relieve you when you're tired, or not believing you have the support system and feel like you're the only one who can do the job successfully. Now, that is a lot of caregivers. I'm not gonna say that I thought I was the only one who could do the job successfully, but I definitely thought it was my obligation. I thought that it was my duty because my brother, who was here and who was close, had his wife, had three daughters. So I felt like, no, they already had enough on their plate. It was wrong of me. It was unfair of me to ask them to help me out. So I didn't actually feel I was the only one who could do the job successfully, but I thought it was my job. I thought it was my responsibility, no one else's, because they had their own stuff, and that it was my job and my duty to take care of my mom solely on my own, and only reach out when I had no other option. Like I had to go to work and I couldn't take off for whatever reason. It was a mandatory meeting or mandatory something where I couldn't. That was the time that I felt okay. It was okay to reach out, not just because I was tired, not just because I needed a break. Um, so that's another common cause of caregiver fatigue or caregiver burnout. Signs and symptoms. What to look for and know when to get help. What to look for and to know when to get help. The human capacity for burden is like bamboo, more flexible than you'd ever believe at a glance. And that's who we are. We're very resilient as people. We're very resilient. But also know now bamboo is very flexible and we can bend it in it, we can bend it, but it still breaks. It can still break with enough pressure. So we also got to remember that the capacity for burden is like bamboo, more flexible than you'd ever believe at first glance. So it's just saying we're more resilient than we know, but we still can break. What are some physical symptoms? Exhaustion, physical and mental fatigue, changes in sleep pattern, not getting enough sleep, having sleeplessness, um, not being able to go to sleep, um, waking up, having a full 8 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours of sleep, and still getting up feeling tired, feeling like you didn't have enough sleep, and then oversleeping. I slept 12 hours yesterday. I'm sleeping 12 hours today. That is signs, that is symptom that you're fatigued, that you may be on the verge of burnout. Change in appetite, not eating, or forgetting to eat. You've gone all day and you, oh, I didn't eat anything today. And then overeating, what our stress eating is what I call it. Um, Weight loss or weight gain, losing or gaining weight quickly. Um, not like if you gain 10 pounds in a month, whoa, what's going on? Or I lose 5 pounds in a week, whoa, what's going on? That those are signs and symptoms that you are on the verge of burnout, that you are overly stressed, and that you're fatigued and getting sick more often than before, getting a cold always, not being able to get rid of it. Um, Always, that means your immune system is low because you're fatigued, because your body is working overtime just to function on a daily basis, just to get you to get through the day, to do your normal tasks, your body's normal function. So it doesn't have all those antibodies to fight off those bacteria that come in from sicknesses because you're fatigued, because you're burnt out. So these are some of the physical symptoms. That's exhaustion, mentally and physically, change in appetite, not being able to eat or overeating, changes in our sleep pattern, weight gain and weight loss, and getting sick more often. And sometimes I just want to say this with getting sick more often. Sometimes we equate that to if the person we're caring for, oh, we're just, oh, they were sick, and oh, that's what it is. And no, it's probably because you're tired. It's probably because you're fatigued. Here are some mental and emotion symptoms: loss of interest in activities, isolation, going in, being no longer being social, being alone. Your girlfriends call, hey, let's go do this. Now, the person you're caring for is fine. They don't need anything, but you're like, nah, that's okay. No, I got to do this. And then you make excuses. So that's a sign of fatigue, unable to concentrate, not getting daily tasks done, or going into a room. What did I come in here for? Uh, uh oh, let me go out and come back in. That's a sign of fatigue. Your brain needs to rest. You need to rest. Um, Feeling helplessness or hopelessness, feeling inadequate or at a loss. And that's when that depression starts to seep in. The anxiety, because we're fatigued and we just feel like, you know what, I can't do anything right. I'm not being the best caregiver I can. We just down ourselves because we're fatigued, we're tired, we're overwhelmed, we're overstimulated, and we need to rest. Irritability, frustration, and anger. The loss to have patience with others. We're easily irritated. And a lot of times if you have children and you're a caregiver and you're giving all you got to the person you're caring for, and your child comes and they need something, and you're just like, oh, what? Give me a minute. Oh, you and it's just like, breathe. And it's okay to be frustrated, but that's when you need to step back, count to 10, give yourself permission to take a moment. Give yourself permission to say, I'm overwhelmed. Give yourself permission to say, I'm tired. Give yourself permission to say, I need help. These are all signs and symptoms that you are fatigued, that you're tired, that you're reaching burnout. So give yourself permission to say it's okay. It's okay that I'm not at 100% right now. It's okay that I'm not at 95%. Heck, I may be at 30. I may be barely functioning. And be okay with knowing that, and knowing that it's time to take a break. What are some risk factors? Understanding um, how this affects your body, and what are some of the risks in caregiver fatigue and burnout. Anxiety, fear, or doing something wrong, or something happening for the person that you're caring for, the individual that you're caring for. Constantly, worried about, what if this happened, or what if that happened, or what if I do something wrong, or that's a risk factor in getting caregiver fatigue. The anger and frustration, feeling that your family or loved one doesn't appreciate the care you're providing. That's real. But that's when you have to have those difficult conversations. You have to, if your family is saying, hey, dad is XYZ, mom is this, that, and other, they're losing weight. Well, they may be losing weight because of the condition they're in, or they may be losing weight because they're only eating um, 500 calories. That's all I can get them to eat. So having those conversations and pulling your family to the side, or if the person you're caring for is frustrated, saying, okay, mom, dad, husband, wife, sister, brother, hey, what is it that you need? How can I do a better job? Or what is it that you're uncomfortable with? Open yourself up to be vulnerable, to be like, okay, maybe I'm doing something um that that I could do better. Maybe I need to do something better. Um and oh, I'm sorry. Um and owning that. And then, oops, sorry. What look denial of your person's condition, denial that your dad or your mom is not your superhero anymore, that they're not that independent person, that they do need assistance, they do need help. Feeling guilty about needing to take time for yourself, not wanting to be a burden to other family members, or not wanting the person you're taking care of being a burden to others. And being negativity, having those thoughts, like I said, downing ourselves about the job we're doing, or just about the responsibilities. Then once again, being secluded and alone, not asking for help, and doing all of this on your own. Now I want to talk to you about preventions and interventions. How can we prevent caregiver fatigue? What can we do to ensure that we're taking time to take care of ourselves? What to do when you notice that you are on the verge of burnout? The first thing we need to do is talk to a healthcare provider. Talk to your doctor. Talk to some, reach out and let them know how you're feeling, especially if you're getting sick. And also the anxiety, the frustration, if you're being depressed, if you're overly stressed, let them know. Next thing, ask for help. Ask your support system. Make sure that you develop that plan, and you can go and say, hey, I need your help. And when they offer, yes. If someone's asking you, because most caregivers, we're a caregiver and we're givers by nature. So even though we're caring for this person, another family member, hey, can you go do this? Can you pick up my kid? Can you do this? And we say, yes, I can. No, say no. Don't put more on your plate. You have enough on there. It's okay to say no. They'll find someone else. And accept your limitations. Normalize that and accept your feelings. Normalize your frustrations. Know that it's okay that you're stressed. Know that it's okay that you're overwhelmed. And those are all normal. It's challenging being a caregiver. It's challenging for the person who has the illness and the health condition, that they're not their 100% normal self anymore. Find local resources. There are many resources in our community. There are many people out there to help if we just ask, if we just look into it. And then the last one, the most important one, is making sure you take time for self care, taking care of yourself, eating well, having a balanced meals, go for a walk, get enough sleep, um, exercise. Also, unwinding at the end of the night, praying, meditation, do yoga, but making sure that you're taking some moments to release everything that has gone on today. Even if that means, calling someone up and just releasing it, talking about it, and then, hey, that's all I need to do is bounce this off of someone. I'm good. Good night. Thank you. Making sure that we're doing those small little things to take care of ourselves. Caregiver fatigue burnout. Caregiver fatigue is a normal part of being a caregiver. Recognizing the signs and symptoms is how we can take the necessary steps to prevent burnout. The best prevention, don't go at this alone. Include your support system.
Okay. Something just happened. Okay. But like she said, include your support system because they need to be a part of this to um, make sure that you um, get the rest that you need. Okay. Okay. So that was the end of Vanessa's actual PowerPoint on this, but it is really important if you are a caregiver, everyone, that you make sure that you put things in place to protect yourself. Because, like I was saying earlier, there are so many caregivers that are actually passing away while being a caregiver because they're neglecting themselves. So, yes, even when she was saying, make sure you have someone that you can just call and just say, I just need to tell you about my day so I can let go of this. And that's what we're hoping as this time goes by and we're able to get into our actual support groups and have connections among you all, that you will be able to have someone or some people that you can say, I need to talk to somebody about my day. It wasn't a good one, but I just need to just talk about it so I can let it go and I can go to bed. Okay. So that was the original thing for this. Um, and also, if you're dealing with family members and you are a caregiver, it's always great to know about the actual condition that your family members have. So that's why you'll be seeing a lot of educational plans. Hey, Vanessa, glad you're back. That we'll be able to educate you on those conditions so you'll understand what that family member or friend is going through and you'll understand that condition and you'll also know what kind of help you will need while that family member is going, has that condition, so you'll understand, and then you and your support system will understand what's going on, so you'll be able to help. But the main thing is, yes, you have a love for your family member or friend and you want to help them, but you also have to remember you have to set boundaries to protect yourself because you can't help them if you're not well and well rested and well taken care of. So you have to make sure you are going to your doctor's appointments. Making sure, like we said earlier, that you have an outlet to talk to. You, if you need to go talk to a therapist, don't make it taboo. Go, because you are going to be in this caregiver role for a very long time. So you want to make sure that you are well mentally before you can help someone else mentally. And if there's a need for the two of you to go to therapy, go together so you'll know what the person who has the conditions thoughts are related to how this journey is going to be, and you can let them know what your thoughts are, so you two will be on the same page. That will decrease a lot of stress and tension in your home because you're actually talking ahead of time. So, Vanessa, right now, I will shut up and see if there's anything else that you had to say, and then
Oh
I'll
no,
start.
no, 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 no. You are right on, and that was the end of my presentation. So
Oh, okay. So,
a
yeah,
little
that's the main
miss.
thing.
Yeah, that was it.
You have to make
Um,
sure that the two of you are on the same page because otherwise there is going to be strain and that's going to put more tension on you because you're trying to do one thing and you're trying to get that person who has a condition to listen to you and do it your way, and they'll want you to do it their way, and you are wasting energy. And no sense in wasting energy. How about you be on the same page to start off? And it may even come down to if you have the same doctor, how about y'all have your appointments together? Okay. My appointment at 11, your appointment at 11:30. That way, everybody being seen, we're taking care of ourselves together. Sometimes we do make things more complicated than it has to be. I've
and
learned.
and and Keisha, that's because a lot of times it's usually a family member that we're taking care of, and
Hmm.
we don't go into it like this is a job, because it is a job. And what I mean by that, we don't make a plan. We don't do. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on one second, Keisha.
Everything okay? And the main
I'm sorry.
thing, caregiver.
I had to be
Hmm.
visual, so I didn't want to. But the main thing is creating a plan. A lot of times we don't create that plan. We
Hmm.
just go off the whim, and that's where we get lost because we haven't put anything in place, and we're just flying by the seat of our pants, trying to do a task that's very difficult.
Yeah. And when you go to these appointments, make sure you take a uh, something to write down, keep notes, however you choose it, be it a pen and paper, be it a digital notebook, whatever you use to keep notes. Because when you go to these appointments, that's where you get all the good information, right, about what's going on. And if your caregiver, the person who has the condition you allowed in that room, listen. Don't go there with you're not paying attention. Go and make sure you are listening because that's your opportunity to know what's going on, how you need to help them, or how you do not need to help them. Like you're doing everything for them. And the doctor is in the office saying, no, they don't need to be doing all of this for you. You need to be trying to do this for yourself. And here you are at home, and you're you are doing everything, but you going against the whole treatment plan of the doctor. All right. So that's also important in this. But I kind of went off. Let's go back to the burnout side. But if you feel any aches and pains in your body, call a doctor. Don't try to just say, oh, it can wait. I ain't have time because I was. That's when, if you are part of our community, you reach out to us and say, look, this is going on. Can y'all help me find somebody to sit with my family member or whatever? And then we will try to see if we can help you get someone to sit with your family member for hour and a half so you can go to the doctor, or we can try to help you work through thinking of somebody in your family who can help, because you are just as important as the person that you're actually caring for. All right, Vanessa, I'm shutting up. I'm going back to you, sis.
No, you are right on topic. You are everything as you're saying is on point. And what you just said is, if I'm not taking care of myself, then I can't be the best caregiver that I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also an important factor that we need to understand. That
Yeah.
if you're not 100% and you're not taking care of yourself, then you can't be the best caregiver that you need to be for that individual.
All right. So, are there any questions out there related to this subject? I know in the Facebook side of it, it was a lot of people were just seeing my face, I found out, Vanessa. I'm sure that wasn't very educational. But I hope that they were at least hearing your voice. So there's another thing we got to work through to find out why were they just seeing my face when it said it was streaming from here. So there's something else we got to work through. Any
You
questions?
know what? This It's okay. We're new to this and we're going to get it all worked out. And we're going to look back on these in the future and be like, I remember those first videos.
Yes, yes, we will. All right. Any questions? Going once, going twice. Well, you all know we're here every Thursday, and we are here next Thursday at 6:30. I think it may be my time to talk. We may have a special guest. Who knows? You just got to show up on next Thursday and share with your friends and let them know that we are here to help. And yeah, help us help others. So please make sure that you are sharing our different pages and links and all to your friends and family and your co-workers and just anybody in passing. If you hear somebody coughing, I'm just kidding, but whoever that you know who could be someone who will benefit from being in the Dear Encourager community, please make sure that you share that with them. Vanessa and I would love to serve them. Did I miss anything that we're supposed to say today? Hmm? Did I miss anything?
Not at all. You didn't miss
All
anything.
right. Well, I hope everybody has a good night, and we look forward to speaking with you next week. Good night, y'all.